Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Arbor Adventures, Dungeons and Dragons, my Arbor Adventures campaign. I just heard a great term for this. It's duet Dungeons and Dragons. One Dragon Master, one Dungeon Master. Matt Colville actually talked about duet Dungeons and Dragons campaigns and said that sometimes when people try these, they never go back. And they never go back to like a full table of 4 or 5 Dragon Masters. And I have to say, I definitely see how powerful it is. One of the things is when you have one Dragon Master, there's time to focus on everything. Actually, what astonishes me is we don't even have time to do everything this one Gold Dragon Master wants to get done. Right? There's storylines that we're not able to progress at the rate we'd like because there's so many storylines. So duet Dungeons and Dragons campaigns are highly recommended. I think Matt Colville is correct that these are shockingly good. We're on 8. We're going to be playing our 9th. I'm talking about session 7 today, but we're actually moving toward our 9th session now. And that's been done very quickly, right? Like if you look at the beginning of this playlist, you'll see exactly how long this campaign's running, but this thing is running smooth as glass. I'm really excited about it. So, season 1, episode 7. At this point, Doulos has disconnected himself from the Soulbinders, but he now has more information about the human woodcutter dwarven miner war in Phandalin than anyone on Faerun, right? He knows that the Soulbinders are sweeping an army up to aid the dwarven miners. He also knows that Mindardus is going to get the bracers of 100 warriors from Ruiatheme, which is an island that is northwest of the Moonshae Isles, right? And that he's going to bring that back, and depending on which arrives first, that's going to determine who wins the war. And not thousands, because remember, there's only hundreds of these miners and only hundreds of these woodcutters, right? It's just a village, right? Like Phandalin is just a village. It's not a huge town, right? But the problem is, the dwarves are connected to the Mount Hotenow dwarves. So this war could escalate, right? So Doulos has to make a decision, right? And he decides that he is going to go link up with Mindardus, who is getting the bracers of 100 men. And so he's choosing to help the woodcutters. Now, he did meet the woodcutters first. And he actually dealt with the woodcutters leader and aided the woodcutters leaders and helped the woodcutters not lose 30,000 gold that had come in his payment from Waterdeep, right? So Doulos does have history with the woodcutters, right? Now he is a high elf. He's a sun elf in Faerun, so he's not allied with either species, right? Dwarves or so he decides to go to get Mindardus, right? So he travels up the seacoast and then has to charter a boat, right? He gets Captain Wistone with the Sea Ghost, and the Sea Ghost is from Ghosts of Saltmarsh, right? So Captain Wistone is going to take them from the Sword Coast all the way out to Ruiatheme, which is northwest of the Moonshae Isles. It's hundreds of miles, right? And so they actually get on the boat. They arrive where Mindardus is, and then it's very easy to find Mindardus on Ruiatheme Island. And the reason why is he came into the harbor, right? And he's a white dragonborn, right? He's like white as snow, right? And so he's extremely even if he has a hood on, you could see his, dragon snout, poking out. He's pure white, right? Like he really stands out, right? And they're like, oh, he's up on that mountain over there, right? So they go, it's a 600-foot scaled climb, right? And so I'm ready for a little bit of danger and, for some damage to happen to Doulos as he falls. He has a skull ring, which has all these evil aligned powers, right? He is still a hero. At this point, he's never harmed anyone who did not announce harm to others first, right? So so he has this ring, and he uses this power called Scurry. Scurry is from Crown and Skull, and it means that you simply move to anywhere within a bow shot. Now his bow shot is only 150 feet, but since he's with Parak, his bow shot counts as 600 feet, and he's able to get all the way up to the top of the mountain without even climbing it, right? Like using these like dark assassin powers, right? From the skull, which come from the skull, which actually, I'm sorry, yeah, which do come from the skull ring, right? So because he is skull aligned, since he was an assassin for the Zentarum, right? So he gets up there, and he reunites with Mindardus, and Mindardus is like, I'm so happy to see you here. Look at all this treasure. I can't even carry it all down. It'll be really helpful to have some help carrying this down. And so he gets eight magical items and treasure items from Mindardus, and then him and then Mindardus and Doulos like use ropes to lower down all the treasure. And then at that point, Mindardus and Doulos need to descend this 600-foot drop. And that was the end of Season 1, Episode 7. And that's where we're going to leave this off. Thank you very much for letting me share this. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion on the coolest parts of Arbor Adventure. The important parts when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.